Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I am here today with a special guest, Savage Tech. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Sal Tech. I'm a small tech YouTuber, and I like your channel.
Yep. So if you want to check out his channel, link will be in the description down below. I believe it's already there. If it's not, I will add it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already there. So we've got a fair bit of topics to talk about, but I'll give a few minutes for everyone to get in. And Savage Tech, if you want to explain the predicament your computer's in right now, that would probably be a good way to start it off.
Okay, so I right now I'm streaming on my laptop. I was going to be streaming. I was going to be streaming on the system here. You may see the monitor over there, and basically a couple hours for the stream, I tried to do a very slight overclock. It's an FX 8320, and it's we're using Skype. It's an FX 8320, a GTX, and a GTX 980. It's my holdover system. And I want to do a slight overclock from 3.5 to 4 gigahertz. And it currently, so it started booting BIOS and then blue screening. So I thought resetting the CMOS would work, and that didn't work. And then I thought maybe it was the Windows install, and I switched that out. And now it's still going, and now it's still blue screening with the new hard drive.
Dang. Yeah. So right now we're kind of ghetto
Mm-hmm.
rigging it, but it seems to be up and it seems that everything's working fine.
Yeah, we're good.
So, I guess we'll start off by going over the recent tech pickups we've got. I guess I'll go first because you just explained the whole stuff. So, I haven't got too much stuff recently. The only two things that I've picked up that I haven't really shared on the YouTube channel. The first one is I just purchased a Pentium G 4560. I got it for only $50 at superbiz.com. I don't even know if that's shipped out yet, but I saw it for $50 on Build a PC sales, and I had to get it because a lot of people were having, up until very recently, it was hard to even find it for the MSRP. And it's basically an i3 6100, so for $50 it's a pretty good deal. And then
That's
also, yeah, what were you gonna say?
that's a nice deal.
Yeah, and then also I got this motherboard pretty recently. I actually probably have had it for a couple weeks, but this is a B150 motherboard. It's
Right.
BioStar, so it's not the best brand, but it was only $25 on Newegg. I know Danny from Nerd on a Budget got literally bought 5 of them because they were only $25 a piece.
They were 25 bucks. I remember that he went for it.
Yeah, all of the BioStar boards were 50% off for some reason a couple weeks ago, so I snagged one.
It's not like the company's making many new boards, so I could see why they need to make some money.
Yeah, true.
So
Have you?
actually, I would like to respond to Dylan. I did manage to unbend the pins. I fit it correctly in the socket, and then I just heated it up, and essentially they locked the pins back in. Shut up, patches. And I actually do have a tech pickup for this week. This is a GTX 950. I traded my 280X for it, and I got 30 bucks as well.
Oh, wow. Where you did that on what, like Craigslist?
Friends, that was a
Oh,
personal.
okay.
I
Nice.
do. There is. I am contacting a guy on Craigslist. He's selling a G3258 with a motherboard for $65.
Nice. Is that the EVGA one with the, does that cooler have like copper heat pipes or is it just like the little circular aluminum heatsink?
It's the circular one. The one you're talking about is the double fan one.
Oh, okay.
It's like 20 bucks. That was like 20 bucks more at the time.
Oh, all right. So yeah, those have been our tech pickups. I guess we'll start going into some of the tech news. Really, the biggest thing this week has been Ryzen 5. The release of the 1600X, 1600, 1500X, and 1400. So what have your thoughts been so far after seeing the benchmarks and everything?
Um, AMD, you done good.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it's like it's an incredible value they're offering because if you want, obviously if you want like the best gaming performance, and you have unlimited money to spend, you nothing's really gonna beat a 7700K at 5 GHz in gaming. But if you're wanting to go with an i5, that means that you're compromising to some extent, and if you're gonna compromise the gaming performance, you might as well get a Ryzen 5 because you're going to get all those extra threads. And if you want to do anything with like video editing or virtualization, then it's a
Hmm.
no-brainer to get the Ryzen 5.
It was showing the benchmarks. The Ryzen 5, video editing wise, is miles ahead of the i5.
Yeah, I think here's a chart right here that with Cinebench, and you can see the 1600X, which is a solid $100 less than the 7700K, is outperforming it in the multi-threaded score. Dang it. Of course, this web page has an ad that blares. But yeah, I think I don't know if I'll get any Ryzen 5 stuff. Do you plan on doing any PC upgrades or anything soon?
In late 2015, I dropped a lot of money on my PC, and I don't have a reason to upgrade. I have a 6700K running over
Oh,
to 4.7 gigahertz, and if I was looking at an upgrade, it'd probably be a GPU upgrade.
yeah. What GPU do you have right now?
I have a GTX 980, the 4 gig.
Dang. So, I mean, that's still really good, so.
It's still good. I mean, if there was any reason to upgrade, I'd SLI it. But right now, 980s are really expensive on the used market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like most of the used cards people want so much for them just because they paid so much.
It's like the 970 is good value right now. The 980 is horrible value.
Mm-hmm. Because the 980 isn't, I don't, do you know like how much better the 980 is compared to the 970 percentage wise, like general
Uh,
performance boost?
the 970 had half a gig less of VRAM, a lower memory clock speed, and in reality, there's about one half less gig of VRAM and 15% less performance.
All right, yeah, I knew it wasn't like a huge gap, so.
It's less than 20%, and then
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's why I think Nvidia dropped the 980 Ti because the 980 was so disappointing compared to the 70 to 970.
Yeah, but even I know when the 980 dropped, I'm trying to. Oh no, that was when the 1080 dropped. That it beat 980s in SLI. So
A 1080 can keep up with two 980s, and that's
yeah.
why I'm thinking about SLI because two 980s is essentially a 1080.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 1080s have dropped a lot in price over the recent time. I've seen some as cheap as like $430 recently.
Yeah, because
So
that's the 1080 Ti.
yeah, true. All right, so anything else you want to talk about for the Ryzen 5 stuff?
Um, Actually, one thing that a lot of people, especially in this type of channel, will be looking forward to in the Ryzen 5 server the is that now all the i5s are going to be dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go snipe a dirt. Like between yesterday and today, I saw at least i5s. I saw three i5s listed on my Craigslist.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna try to offload their old i5s on Craigslist and eBay and all that stuff.
Actually, I saw one post where it said he upgraded to Ryzen, so he was selling his 4960X.
Hmm. 5960X or?
No, I'm not sure what it was. The one before the 5960X.
Oh, okay. So it's probably, I think that might be like X79,
Yeah, it
but it's
was.
still probably like 6 cores.
Bro, X79 is a beast. It's still really good if you've ever seen what the hell? If
Yeah,
you've ever seen Tech by Matt,
yeah, yeah.
not
And
Tech by Tech City.
yeah, and I actually have I got a pretty cheap X79 system a while ago that I'm helping my friend build like a video editing system, and it was a full X79 workstation. I want to say it was a I don't know, it was an HP or Dell or something, but I got it for $150, and we're gonna put in one of the one of those Xeons, the high core count Xeons that are only like $70. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that should be pretty sweet. I guess the next thing with Ryzen 5 is apparently one of the overclockers, like one of the liquid nitrogen overclockers, beat the record for a 6-core overclock. They got one of the Ryzen 5s up to 6 gigahertz, which is pretty insane.
Didn't AMD hold it before with the Phenoms?
Yeah, I think so.
Didn't they have it with the Phenom 6 core? Mike, your mic's phasing out. Your mic is phasing out. Wait. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if AMD held it before or if actually this article is saying the i7 5820K had the spot before this at 5.9 gigahertz. So they just took it from Intel apparently.
Nice.
Yeah.
It seems like every AMD generation they always beat an overclock record. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean it really doesn't mean anything because they don't actually overclock very well when you're just using air or liquid. But
yeah,
this is just like an E-peen type of thing.
Nice. Here's an actual build. Here's a find I have. I haven't found a use for it yet, but I do want to use it. This is an H55 board. It comes with an i3 on it. Yeah.
Nice.
I kind of want to use it. I'll probably do base clock overclock on it.
How much did you get that for?
I got it $440 with a deal. It came with an i3 and a power supply.
That's a pretty good deal because I know that with the older boards like that, the motherboard is the most expensive part. Because I actually did a build a year and a half ago with a i5 750, I want to say, and then an H55 board. And the H55 board was more expensive than the CPU, so.
That's true. The i5 is like $20, and the motherboard's here for like 40 to 60.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the next article that I found was apparently Dell's released a 30-inch OLED monitor for $3,500, which is insane. I guess OLED is what's used on a lot of newer phones. Like I'm pretty sure like Samsung and most of the Android phones use, like the new flagships use OLED.
It's a little bit off because I actually do have the S7 Edge myself.
Mm-hmm. But
it's not OLED. It's very close to it.
Yeah, apparently, they're saying in this article they don't even know who it's going to be for because people who do professional work, OLED is apparently super saturated. Like the colors look super vivid and really good. So if you're making a video or editing a photo or something, it might look really good on that screen, but then on the average person's screen, it's probably not going to look as good.
True. So. I mean, like, I actually have a comparison of OLED. I have the PlayStation Vita, which came all the way back in 2011, and that had an OLED screen.
Oh.
And even though the resolution is half HD, the fact that the colors really pop actually help with games looking better.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, is OLED the ones that like the blacks are a lot deeper because it can it turns the individual LEDs off, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought because I know with like traditional backlighting it's still gonna kind of shine a little bit of light, but then with the OLEDs it just completely shuts it off, so it's a lot better contrast.
Yeah, again, that's like IPS.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I main IPS myself, and my main monitor is IPS, and like I've taken photos with my 3 monitors up, and I have one in the middle, it's IPS, 2 are TN. You can clearly see the difference on the actual panels.
Yeah, I know with IPS it's a lot more accurate color wise than TN, and then also the IPS, you've got a lot better viewing angles.
Mm. Yeah, it's like I have a 25-inch. That's a really good over. I have a 25-inch monitor that I can overclock a lot, and I mean it has a really small response time, but it's still not. It's still like if I get maybe this far away where I'm hitting my rug when you see what you see on camera,
Mm-hmm.
there is a huge you can't see the screen.
Oh, wow. Dang. So the next article is apparently Nintendo's discontinuing the NES Classic Edition.
So the
But
scalpers can get it.
yeah, like those, it's like the little boxes that are basically, I don't even know what the like main board in it is, but honestly, you can just emulate all of the stuff that it did. So
I mean, it was cool. There was a lot of people that wanted it, right? All the older
yeah,
people.
the
Yeah.
demand's super high. Apparently, like people are selling it consistently for over
Well,
$150, and the MSRP is $60.
check in eBay.
Yeah, true.
I
I'll
know.
pull
I
that
know.
up.
There's scalpers. There are scalpers that charge like $200 for the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that good. All you have to do is get a either a PC NES controller or you can get an adapter. I guarantee you, there's one out there.
Yeah,
Uh, and you need an emulator. That's all. It's kind of like how they can emulate Breath of the Wild because thanks to the Wii U emulator.
yeah, and yeah, one of these right now, ending in 19 minutes, it's going for $193 bid on eBay, which is
Mm.
insane. I don't know why they're discontinuing it. If they're obviously
Yeah.
if they're selling it for $60, they're making a profit off that. So
Yeah, because well, in reality, probably what it is, it's probably something like a Raspberry Pi that they put an emulator on.
yeah, definitely. I don't think it's like the native hardware or whatever.
Oh hell no! I mean that hardware drew a lot more power. So
Yeah, it's definitely emulation of some sort. But yeah, that's a good point about the Raspberry Pi is you can just get a Raspberry Pi for like $30 and emulate any of the NES games.
I mean you could do that with PS2 as well. I've seen that where they put Raspberry Pis in PS2s and emulate that.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's something I've always wanted to try and I've never done.
Emulation?
No, I wanted to like build a PC in like an original Xbox or an Xbox 360.
Yeah, that's actually something I was thinking about doing this summer when I have more time is I was looking into it and I don't think it would be pretty hard to do it in an Xbox 360 because of the size, but it actually would be pretty doable in a Xbox original case.
Yeah, because that was pretty much the original Xbox was pretty much a PC.
Yeah.
It was pretty much a beefy PC
Mm-hmm.
that was priced for what it was.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I got
so the
hey,
next
check. I recently got a Raspberry Pi from the local Publix. How much would it cost to beat my wife with the pie?
oh man.
Um, $5. You should put like a stick on it, get a nail, make it really hurt, if you know what I mean. Let's move on.
Yeah. So
Let's move.
the next article is that apparently Halo 3 might be coming to PC. I don't know if you've did you used to play Xbox or any console games?
Um, Halo 3 is the reason I still have a 360.
Yeah, the Halo 3 custom games were amazing.
Okay, fine. Happy birthday, Avery. Happy birthday to you. You're old now. Have fun with your life.
Happy birthday to Avery. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. Halo might come to PC, even though that's like one of the Xbox's biggest exclusives.
Here's what I'm going to say. Um, if Xbox, wants to sell their console, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I definitely agree because that's like the biggest. I feel that's the biggest argument for consoles is the exclusives.
Well, let's look at this. I own an Xbox One. I own it for two things: Halo Halo Master Chief Collection, and Netflix.
Yeah, basically that's all my Xbox 360 does right now is Netflix, and then like the occasional round of Call of Duty when I'm bored.
Or Friends. It's good for friends too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's yeah.
And
Um,
then the next article is apparently Microsoft Edge beats Chrome by over 3 hours in new battery usage test. Microsoft Edge sucks, but apparently it's a lot better on your battery.
true. Actually, good point, Kenny. That's a good point. I do you honestly think Microsoft cares about Xbox anymore, considering they have like 98% of the operating system market?
I mean, I still think they care a fair amount because they've sold, I want to say they've sold 30 million consoles, which I don't even think they make that much money off the consoles themselves. Where they make all the money is through the, like, for most of those consoles, people are paying a monthly Xbox Live fee. They're
Okay,
buying
so
games in the store and all that stuff. So
okay, so how much is a new Xbox One?
I want to say you can
Well,
get a new Xbox One for like $250.
well, let's see. Yeah, 250. Okay, so the specs in a Xbox One is the 7850 or 7870.
Yeah, and I mean it's really hard to judge just because of the console optimization and all that
True.
stuff. But yeah,
So
if you
we
can,
know it has a 8-core FX chip that's underclocked,
hmm
8 gigs of RAM, and some sort of lower tier 7000 series card.
yeah, I mean it's definitely not like the greatest performance, and that's why all the like exclusives and then also just the fact it's plug and play, I guess, is why it's so appealing. But
Because I mean, like, so this was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, the audio port on my main PC died while I was using the FX system at the moment.
hmm
And and so while that system was down, I mean, it was great because I wanted to play a game. My PC's down. My Xbox One's right here,
yeah, that's true.
and I mean, I got my fill of Netflix and Halo for 3 days, and then my system started booting again. So
Nice. Yeah. I mean, overall, I don't have anything against consoles. I don't know why it's such a big like hatred thing towards consoles in the PC community, but
the, the problem is, like any, the problem is, whoever started it is unknown. Whoever started it is unknown, but now it's basically they say stuff about us, so we'll say stuff about them now.
yeah, for the most part. But I feel like a lot of the reason like console players will say stuff about PC players is just because
We
like we
attack them.
started it.
We attack them.
But
They
I
attack
guess
us.
yeah, I guess it's just like a self-perpetuating thing because it keeps on going back and forth.
It's gonna keep going too.
Yeah, true. All right, so I think that's all of the news articles that we have. The next thing we can do is go on, look up some deals, and we can talk about whether we think they're good deals or not. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go to the Build a PC Sales subreddit, and
I'm going to do Craigslist.
all right, sounds good.
Okay.
So the first thing,
Hmm. Okay. Here's a good deal. Intel G3258 Hyper 212 Evo MSI H81 M8CX board, $75.
nice. Which Craigslist are you on? I'll pull it up.
North Jersey. Chat. Check your Skype.
All right.
Ooh, this guy's selling 3 RX 480s for $600. Oh wait, no,
Nice.
it's 2 MSI RX 480 8 GB. That would be one hell of a crossfire. And a GTX 960 for $200. Forget it.
Is that on the same page as the oh, I see where it is.
Hmm.
$600 RX 40. Yeah, that's not really that great of a deal.
I
I
mean,
I guess if they're
two
new,
480s are a good deal, but
yeah.
not the 960.
Yeah, the 960 really isn't he's saying retail price for the 960 is $200, but in reality, I feel like the 1050 Ti is probably on par with a 960, if not a
It
little
is.
bit better.
A
And that's
1050
like
Ti is basically a 964 gig.
yeah, and that's what like $150 you can find it all the time for that price.
Yep.
And you don't even need a extra power connector for the 1050 Ti.
Yep. And the 960 is less VRAM, so there's no point.
Mhm. And I
The,
get
the only thing the only thing I see in this is those two 480s would be one hell of a combo.
yeah, I like the gaming X cards a lot. I guess those are probably more expensive than a lot of the ones, but I've been seeing like there's an RX 480 right now on Newegg for $150 after rebate. It's the blower style, but still for $150. 8 gig RX 480, that's a pretty good deal.
Dylan, um, personally, GTX, wait for a 560 for his PC. He has a G40 560, 8 gigs of RAM. I can't hear you, Matt.
What was that?
Dylan has a G40 560 and 8 GB of RAM. Should he get a 1050 or wait for a RX 460? Or what would you recommend in the used market? I
All right.
mean, he has a
So
150 watt.
So between those two cards, like the 1050 is better than the RX 460, and usually the 1050 is at least like $20 more. So they're usually it's proportionally better, like dollar money for dollar wise. And but obviously the nice thing about those two cards is you don't need any external power, PCI power. It all comes through the PCIe slot. And
Yes.
he was asking about in terms of waiting for the 560, it's just going to be a rebadged RX 460. So they might increase the memory
Memory
speed a little bit and they might
like
increase the clock speed, but it's essentially going to be the same thing. But there's a lot of good GPUs for around $100.
uh,
I know he said that his what was his power limit? 150 watts for the GPU.
no, he has a 450 watt.
Oh, so he can basically if his power supply has the connectors, the G4560 said he's using, that
Yep.
doesn't use like any power. So for under $100, you can
Oh, he has
consistently.
430. He has 430.
Oh, okay, but for pretty consistently under $100, you can find HD 7970s. They're pretty power hungry, but it's the same thing as the R9 280X. And
A
those,
280X is equivalent to a 960, which is equivalent to a 1050 Ti.
all right, yeah. And but yeah, those go for like $90 consistently on the used market, the HD 7970s. I'm trying to think you could probably get a GTX 770
Yeah,
for
I've seen those.
80, $90, or even if you want to go cheaper, like you can get for 60 or $70, you can get actually for like 65 probably you could get a GTX 760, which is still going to be a really good 1080p card. I mean, it's not necessarily about picking a specific card, it's more just looking for the deals. And if you find a good deal on a card that is kind of in your price range, then I'd get it.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dylan, even with the
Dude,
430 watt PSU,
Dylan, it won't take your power supply to the limit. The GPUs that we're talking, they don't consume 300 watts of power, and your G4560 consumes nearly nothing.
yeah, and if anything, you can just basically go onto PC Part Picker, plug in all of your parts into there, and then like plug the different types of GPUs you want to use, and it'll give you like a rough estimate of how much wattage it's going to use. And as long as you've got like 75 or 100 watts of headroom, you should be good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take
Actually,
on it.
I had this issue where I was running into headroom issues. So I did a build in November. It had an i5 6500 and an RX 480 and a 450 watt power supply.
Mm-hmm.
That's pushing it.
Wait, what was the CPU again?
i5 6500.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how much wattage that uses. That's probably like a 95 watt CPU.
Yes, but Dan, the 1050 has no power supply, no power draw, so that's the perk of it.
Yeah, the 1050 is it only uses 75 watts max, I guess, because that's the most that it can pull from the PCIe lane. And also you can get the 1050s and 1050 Ti's in low profile versions, which is really handy if you're trying to upgrade like one of those slimline used PCs.
Oh yeah. Dylan, another upgrade, if you're concerned about power, is a GPU like this, GTX 950, and it only has one 6-pin. So if you're concerned about power issues, you're well under the limit. I mean, this is, if you overclock it, it can keep up with the 1050.
Yeah, and someone's saying 470 stomps the 1050. Definitely, if you can find a 470 for as cheap as a 1050 or even 1050 Ti, it's a good deal. But the 470 does use a considerable amount more power than the 1050 and 1050 Ti.
Mm-hmm. He is. Wait, Dylan, how many 8-pins do you have? One or two?
He said his PSU has 2 8-pin lines. So
yeah.
Yeah.
He has 2 8-pins, so he's good.
Yeah, you can run basically any card as long as you've got the headroom power-wise.
I ran my 980 on a 450 watt, for reference.
Yeah, I've run some pretty power-hungry systems on the EVGA, like 430 watt or 500 watt power supplies, and I've never had a single problem. A lot of people go super overkill on the power supply when it's not really necessary, but
I did that. My main system is a 750 watt.
yeah, I mean it's not like a bad investment but if you're going like ultra budget, there's no point in spending a crazy amount on the power supply. But yeah, so I guess I'll pull up Build a PC sales again and see if there's, oh wow, you can get a 16 gig kit of RGB DDR4 3000 megahertz for $106, which isn't a horrible deal. RAM's so expensive right now.
Dylan, TechBanks is running a 980 Ti and 500 watts. You're good.
Oh wow. Dang. So Shane Whitby says, I bought a PC with an i3 540 4 gigs of RAM, Asus motherboard for $68, and put a GTX 660 that he already owned in it. What do I think? I think that's a pretty good combination. The CPUs on the LGA 1156 platform are pretty cheap. Like you could get an i5 for $25 and that would give you a lot more performance.
I think the stream's frozen. That my internet's crapping out.
You think what?
The stream's frozen, at least on my screen. Wait, are we good?
It's showing that it's good on my screen, so I think we're good.
Okay. If there's anything bottlenecking your system, it's the i3. Because, yeah. Step up to the i5 because with this old socket, I mean, I was running a 280X on this and I was getting a severe bottleneck.
I'm on eBay right now, so I'll look up the i5. Yeah, i5 750. You can buy it now for $35, and I'm sure if you like went the auction route, you could get it for like 25 bucks. And it's not that fast of a processor, but even on the H55 motherboards, you can get a decent overclock. I had an i5 750 on an H55 board. I want to say I got a like 3.3 or 3.5 gigahertz, and it's
Hmm.
base clock of 2.6 gigahertz. So that's a decent overclock for the non like overclocking motherboard, because I know P55 is like the overclocking chipset, and then H55 is like more the low end.
Yeah. Wait, is that i5 500 150?
It is, yeah, it's got an hour left and it's going for 156 with free shipping. What was an insane deal that was on eBay a few weeks ago was under the daily deal tabs, they had i7 7700s for $250, but also there you could use a code and it brought it down to $220. So
That's a good deal.
yeah, it was insane. I didn't need it, so I didn't pick it up, but it was very tempting.
Mm, that'd be very tempting, indeed.
Mm-hmm. All
I
right.
would consider that.
So it looks like you can get a Cooler Master Hyper T4 for $10 after rebate right now, which is a really good deal. It's
That's
only
a
a
good deal.
Yeah, it's only a little bit worse
Sorry, I'm eating on stream, guys. Sorry.
than the 212 Evo, but um for 10 bucks like you can't go wrong. It's AM4 compatible, and you you have to pay $25 up front with a $15 rebate card, but still.
It's not that bad.
Mhm. Let me keep looking, see if there's other deals.
Wait. What about Vega? Vega's out of your price range. Vega is going to be AMD's high-end cards. Your audio is zoning out, Matt.
Oh, I guess I'm probably just like moving away from the mic a little too much or something. It should be fine. I don't know. I'll look at my settings really quick.
So, Dylan, Vega is only for high-end GPUs, like above 480 tier performance, which is way out of your budget.
Yeah, they're going to be minimum of like $300 cards, if not. A lot of people are saying they're trying to make Vega to compete with or beat the 1080 or 1080 Ti. So it's not going to be cheap if it's that performance.
Basically, Vega is going to cost more than your entire PC, Dylan.
Yeah.
To sum it up. To sum it up.
Dang. Dylan said he found a Titan XP for $10 at a garage sale. I highly doubt that.
Good find, my dude.
Let me see. Someone else asked something. Let me try to find this.
But
Stat Savage said,
times 2 iGPU performance. That's still not saying much.
yeah, the iGPU is crap.
iGPU is crap, so that's like saying we're slightly better than crap.
Some of Intel's Iris iGPU stuff in really high-end laptops is actually pretty decent, but they don't put it on any of the lower-end chips. It's all in laptops that are like Ultrabooks that are thin and light and like $1,200 minimum. So
I know. Yeah.
So Stat Savage says he has a question. If he puts a GTX 1050 into an Optiplex 790 mid tower, is that smart? I don't know. Let me look up the Optiplex 790 really quick. What CPU does it have? You should type that in chat. Stat Savage, if you're still here.
Duplex 790, what is it? Is it small or is it mid?
He said it's a mid tower. So I think it's the ones that have like i5 2400s. So
Yeah. Wait, I got this.
yeah, I think it's the ones that the mid tower ones. I've actually used this in a build. The only thing you have to watch out for is that it's not too long, because there's a drive cage right that lines up right where the GPU is. So it you just can't have it. I don't know the exact length. It's like 7 or 8 inches, but if it's a 1050, it's probably going to be shorter than that.
Yep. One thing I found with builds is you have to be careful with what GPU and what case you use. A lot of times, you're zoning out, Matt.
Yeah.
You have to be careful about what case you use. A lot of times you get the cheap cases that have the hard drive bay all the way down, and you can't plug in your GPU.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing to look out for is the length of your GPU, and also yeah, basically just can it fit in the case lengthwise, because a lot of the cases have non-removable hard drive bays, along with just making sure your power supply has the correct cables, because in certain situations you can adapt Molex to 6 pin or 8 pin, but that's pretty sketchy and can blow up your power supply. So
Mm. Yeah, just a tad.
but
I mean,
yeah.
like, I have like a budget. I have budget ATX cases in the corner. Even they have the hard drive based on the center. It really limits what you can do with it.
Yeah, that's true. And also a lot of the budget cases have like partial walls that run all the way down the front side. That I was looking at this one case that's always super cheap. It's called Xon or
Xeon
Zion.
Xeon
Yeah.
310. Yeah, I know what it is. It's
Yeah.
$20.
They make like an ATX and an MATX version, and it's like $4 difference between the two. But I've got it pulled up right now, and let me see if I can pull up the pictures of the inside, because there's like a wall. Yeah, even though you take the side panel off, there's
There's
a
a wall.
wall that goes like covers the front half.
I can actually show this on cam because I have the case on me.
Nice. All right. But yeah, I've seen people who I'm pretty sure who've had this case on PCMR. It was like a meme. The guy's like, I got a new GPU and it's nice, but was too cheap to buy a new case, so he literally just like cut out a big hole in that
You see
side
the
part.
cam, right?
What was that?
You can see my. Tell me if the stream can see my cam. That's what it looks like.
I don't. I think I might be a little bit back in the stream.
The stream is delayed.
All right, yeah, I can see it now.
So yeah, that's what it looks like.
Nice, yeah. That like little wall. I don't know if that would get in the way of installing GPUs, like longer GPUs.
It doesn't get in the way of installing GPUs. It gets in the way of power.
Oh, that's so true because of
So this
the.
is a 9800 GT. This is like a full size card,
Mm-hmm.
and if it matches up right here, this is reference.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I can see you wouldn't be able to plug in those power cables.
It took me 20 minutes to get an 8-pin connected to the RX 480 because I had those spinning around the cage.
Damn, that's insane. Yeah, like I was saying, I've seen people like literally like chop up that side part with like metal cutters just because they're too cheap to buy new cases and have like a big fancy graphics card they're putting in.
I mean, honestly, if you're on this budget, I'd choose an OEM case.
Yeah, if you're on super cheap, the best way to go is definitely buying a like one of those cheap Dell or HPs and then just upgrading it to fit your needs.
Samuel, my mic was acting up because of my distance, because I just walked a lot farther than I normally do.
Yeah, I don't know if my mic is messing up. I've never had problems with it before, but it might be. I don't know.
I've had issues with blue microphones. I've had an issue with my Snowball on stream before.
Yeah, this is a Samson CO1U. I've had it forever, but it's just like a simple USB mic. I don't know how much I paid for it. Probably like $50 or $60.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, someone said. Dylan FPS said no. Zalman Z1 is $30 right now. I'll go look that up.
That's not a really good deal. I sold them for 14 on Christmas.
I
They're on
think.
eBay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Z1 has a side panel. It looks like and it looks like it might include multiple fans. So for $30, that looks like a decent deal.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I would spend $50 on that.
Yeah. Oh wow. So it does look like it comes with 3 included fans. So for $30, that's a really good deal. Oh
Wait,
wow,
it's
it's $50 now. Never mind.
I wouldn't spend 50 on that because for $20 more, I can get an S340.
Yeah, yeah. The
Like
S340 is so nice for
the
60 or 70
S340 is the
bucks.
best case in the market. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the best cases in the market.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me
Oh,
see.
I like you see my grunt there.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Z1 Neo was on sale for $30 literally like a couple days ago.
They
Because
go
I
on
was,
sale all the time.
yeah, I was looking at it, but for $30 it's a good deal, but I don't think I would pay $50 for it.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay 50. Like often, I've seen that case as low as $22 on PC Part Picker.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it was 14 the week of Christmas on eBay through the Newegg reseller.
Yeah, I know there's like a version without the windowed side panel that was super cheap a few weeks ago or like a month ago or something.
That's not a bad a windowed case for $30. That's kind of hard to do. So
Yeah. But
they probably got
I'm
less.
sure the side panel's like super cheap plastic that scratches like the instant you touch it.
Oh, so it's like the window on my Define S.
Oh, does that scratch up really easily?
Oh, yeah, no, it's covered in scratches.
Dang, that sucks.
And it's not that bad. The light gets rid of most of it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure you
Unless you're
just
like, keep going.
unless you're really up close to it, you're saying?
Yeah, unless you're like looking directly at it, you don't notice.
Nice.
The only
Yeah.
bad thing about it is its cable management is terrible. That's what you get with a budget case. You really, I mean, most budget cases either is a terrible layout or you can't do cable management with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely the thing that I've seen with budget cases is a, even if they'll have a back side panel, they'll give you like zero room to actually route cables. Like I had this Cougar Spike Mini tower case that it had a back panel, but it was the back panel literally stuck up against the like the motherboard tray part, so there was no point in having it. Like you couldn't route anything behind it.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much. Yeah, I know. I mean, really, either these are like. Wait, can you guys help me with the predicament I'm in? TechPanks, tell us the predicament.
yeah, if you guys have any questions, just type them in the chat and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability.
Come on. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, in the meantime, I'm going to rant about ASRock because they suck.
Do it. Is that your motherboard with the 8320?
Nope. This is my board. This is the i7.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, well, this board stopped working because the audio port died 2 weeks ago. Now, I've had a history with this board where it doesn't really work. So this is my third time RMAing it.
Dang, that's insane. Did
And
they give you replacements or did they just like fix the board itself?
this is my third RMA, my second board.
Dang.
Okay, wait. All right, so I'm trying to put together a small rig that I can take on VRLA tomorrow. I need it to be built by tonight. I have one of my three G4560s around I wanted to put in one system. Put a G4560 in it. If you have the parts, go for it.
Yeah, I mean the G4560 is going to be perfectly fine for any 1080p machine. Like even up to like an RX 480, it's going to be perfectly fine.
I mean, it'll be a very slight bottleneck.
Yeah, I mean, with like any system you're building, there's always going to be a bottleneck in some area. But at least if you're building a G45 60 system, at least you have like the opportunity to upgrade to an i5 or i7 in the future. So,
Yep. And now back to my ASRock rant. The
yeah.
only thing I don't have is the motherboard. It's an ITX case. Well, sucks to suck.
Yeah, I feel like all of the thing that sucks about the G4560s is to use any of the older like H110 boards, B150, H170 or Z170, you have to do a BIOS flash on it to bring it up to the latest BIOS. So if you don't have one of the older Skylake chips, you you
Screwed.
can't use one of those older boards. And they don't make the H110 was the budget versions of the boards, and you could get like an ITX H110 for $50. But now the lowest end chipset for Kaby Lake is B250, and the cheapest B250 ITX board is like $90 or $100. So
Wait. Mike asked the question, will an i3-6100 bottleneck a 1060?
I mean, it probably will bottleneck it slightly in some games, but
It will bottleneck it slightly, and personally, I'd recommend getting an RX 480.
yeah,
Or,
definitely I'd say RX 480 over the 1060 in most cases. I
unless
some
you're playing
people
Ubisoft games.
Yeah, some people like the Shadow Play and the NVIDIA software, but at the end of the day, the RX 480 is going to be almost as powerful as it, and you're going to be able to get it for like $50 cheaper. So,
Yep, I mean, and you're probably going to make the VRAM argument. And if you're really concerned about VRAM, you would go with the 8 gigabyte because it actually has more VRAM. And honestly, 4 gigs is perfectly fine right now.
yeah, even cards with 2 gigabytes are running perfectly fine at 1080p most games. And with 4 gigabytes, if you're playing at 1080p, that's more than enough, and it's going to be more than enough for at least a year or two. So.
People are saying people are saying 2 gigabytes is bad. Well, it isn't that bad. You just can't turn settings up to like very high.
Yeah, you can't play games at like ultra settings, but if you've got a card with only 2 gigabytes of VRAM, it probably can't even play them at ultra settings to begin with. So,
Yeah, and like if you're looking at the used market or you have a 3 gig card, you're perfectly fine. Which I tested a 280X, and I mean I could play that game at very high.
that is 3 gigs of VRAM, right?
Yeah, it is 3.
Nice, yeah.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't recommend getting a 3 gig card, a new one now, like a 1063 gig, but still.
yeah. Even though it will be enough, it's definitely worth it to spend the little bit more to get the go from 3 gig to 6 gig if for some reason you have to go the NVIDIA route.
Yeah.
And also the thing that sucks about the 3 gig 1060 is it's actually cut down, so it's not just less VRAM. It's actually 10% less performance overall because of fewer CUDA cores, and I'm trying to remember what else was different about it, but it's overall 10% less performance.
Like I was looking at this was pre Mass Effect Andromeda dropped for review. Your mic's gone.
Yeah.
This was pre Mass Effect Andromeda dropped, and I was planning on buying it, so I was looking at reviews. TechBanks, you may know who I'm talking about. There's a kid named Josh, and he was wondering if he couldn't run it. So a lot of the people said with the minus 10% performance to simulate a 1063 gig, all you need is a 970.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think if how performance-wise the 970 stacks up with the 1060. I'm pretty sure the 1066 gigabyte beats it, but the 970 is on par with the 1063 gigabyte.
Yep.
Also, definitely clock speed has a lot of to do with it because I'm pretty sure I've seen online that like a pretty heavily overclocked 970 will beat the 1063 gigabyte in most games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Hmm. One thing. Now I know most of you guys are on the low end here, but one tip of advice I'm going to give to any person who may be buying somewhat on a higher end of GPUs. If you're buying into the NVIDIA cards, do not buy like an 80 series card. If you want to invest in that high end, get the TI.
Yeah, it's always worth it to go for the TI because it's crazy what Nvidia does with their how they just make like they'll put out a card, then like 3 or 4 months later they'll make it obsolete by putting out the Titan, and then after
I
that they
already
put the 1080 Ti and then the new Titan. So it's insane. And also those cards lose value so quickly. Like they people who bought a 1050 for like $600 a few months ago, and now you can get them new for a little over $400. So trying to think what else, but yeah. On the subject of those cards, what are your thoughts on the new Titan X?
Sorry about that. My laptop's at
Oh,
3%.
dang. What are your thoughts on the newest Titan X that they just put out?
Um, either a the Nvidia higher ups are drinking too much alcohol, or they're panicking because of Vega.
Yeah, that's true. I yeah, because um I wonder if they know, like if they've got like corporate spies to see what AMD is
Yeah,
doing.
they probably do.
Yeah, I'd imagine in something as like because they're the only two competitors in that space, so I'm sure they have their ways of finding out what the other people are up to.
Mm-hmm.
But if that is a response to AMD Vega, I think that's pretty awesome because that
But
means Vega's going to be actually good.
Nvidia, either A, this could be good or bad. Either A, Nvidia's taking down AMD's response before they can even get it out,
Mhm.
or they're legitimately scared.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt they're scared. It's hard for me to believe that AMD would have something that would rival the Titan X, but if they
Yeah,
do, that would be awesome.
yeah. They're probably just beating, and they're probably just gonna beat AMD to the market again.
Mm-hmm. Fant says, "What are your thoughts on Asus products?" I think they're pretty good. I have
Asus is
pretty,
pretty.
yeah, I've got pretty limited experience with them, but from what I understand, a lot of people are very avid about using Asus parts, and they're generally known to be pretty reliable. So they're one of the better manufacturers from what I've seen. What do you think?
Yeah. Asus makes at least okay. So I have a little bit of experience with Asus. I've dealt with their laptops before. Never owned one, but I've dealt with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my parents have one of an Asus pre-built,
Nice.
full gen, and I mean Asus. They make really good motherboards.
Yeah, their motherboards are like the industry standard, basically. And Fant is asking better than Gigabyte. Generally, I'd consider Asus a little bit better than Gigabyte, but at the end of the day, um, most of the PC hardware companies, especially the mainstream ones, make good products. It's
Yep.
just a matter, like, a lot of it comes down to which one do you like the looks of better and which ones perform better for the price. So,
Wait, if I were going to get a 480, what size should I get for a budget of 250? You can get an 8 GB with a really good cooler on it.
yeah, if you look for deals, you can get one of like the what are they? The
Hold
Asus's
up,
highest end one is like I've seen for 230 really recently, 8 GB one, and that
hold up.
one,
Let me find it.
yeah, I
We'll see.
think it's the ROG one.
You can get for 264. You can get the Asus ROG Strix RX 40 8 GB.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really nice card.
Yeah, I want to say I've seen it even. I saw it
Actually,
for
you can
only.
also get the RGB fan one as well.
Nice. Yeah, on Newegg right now, it's you have to pay 265 up front, but you can get a $30 rebate card that brings it down to 235. So,
Hmm.
and I'm
Now, Mike, if I were to ask, what are you doing with this card? Like 1080p?
yeah, that's also what I would ask. And
What
also,
are you doing? Because if you're only doing 1080p, honestly, save your money.
mhm. Yeah, because you can get a RX 480 or 474 gigabyte for like
Might as
the
well go
mid
480.
100s. And if you're wanting to spend 250 on a card and you're wanting like 1440p or 4K performance, if you save up another 50 or 60 bucks and wait for a deal, you can find
You can
1070s
get,
for
get a 1070.
in like the 310, 320 range
I
because
mean, on the used market, you can easily get a 1070 or 300 bucks.
yeah, definitely. Because I saw recently I saw a 1070. I want to say it was a Zotac one for $330 new, and it didn't require any rebates or anything, so that was a really good deal.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, gaming 1080p. Honestly, wait for a 4 gig RX 480 to go on sale. They're pretty cheap right now. They're like 199, but if you wait, you can get them as low as 150.
Yeah, I'm on Newegg right now. I'll look to see what the cheapest one is right now.
It's 190. I should check. I mean, you can
Uh,
check if I may have missed something, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the cheapest one I'm seeing is 197.99. You can get one for 180 after a $20 rebate, but yeah, if you wait, you'll be able to find one for the mid 100s, like 150 or 160.
that's yeah. Hmm. Wasn't weren't they going for 130 a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, the power color one, that's like a single fan, and I
Mm.
don't know how good it is, but those both the 470 was going for like 120 after rebate, and the 480 was going for like 135 or 140 after rebate, I want to say.
For reference, the RX 40 is really good value.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my GTX 980. I paid $500 for this card.
When did you get that? In 2015, you
Uh,
said, right?
yeah, Samuel, I'm eating pasta.
Nice. But yeah, the if you got it around the release time, I mean that's not like a horrible deal. That's what they were going for, so.
Wait. Are you in an ATX case, Mike, or are you in a windowed case? If you're looking for a nice GPU to look in your window, since you have the budget to get that, then yes, that card's gonna look good.
Yeah, but if you don't have the case with a side panel window, you're
Just
better off just getting a cheaper one and
just get a
saving the
cheaper one.
money.
Hmm.
But also
Uh,
what's nice about that giant cooler is it's going to run basically silent if you have decent airflow in your case.
this is for reference. I know it won't help much because you aren't like exactly measuring or anything, but this is what would be considered a long GPU here.
Yeah. And also you can just go on either Asus's website or like the Newegg page and it'll tell you how long it is, and then you have to Google your case and on the case manufacturer's website it'll tell you how long of GPUs it supports, and just obviously if the card is less than what it supports then you should be fine.
Oh, if you're on micro ATX, forget it. Don't spend 250 on a GPU.
Yeah.
Get a smaller card. Okay. Dylan asked me a question. Do you speculate RX 470 is dropping in price? I do.
Yeah. The thing is the 570s are coming out soon. So either what's going to happen is they're going to try to clear those out and So the prices might drop when they do that, like right before the 570s come out,
I
or
mean,
they might just try to, like, I know with a lot of times they'll save like the older motherboards and older GPUs for some reason and try to charge like a higher price for some reason. I don't know, it's weird.
that should only be for eBay.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
eBay's thing. That's eBay's thing. So one thing. Okay, personally, the new prices, I think they're gonna drop once, and if you miss that good deal, you're out of luck.
Yeah, they'll probably do is they'll probably sell them, like they'll sell them as much as they can at the normal prices, then right when right before the 570s come out, they'll probably just try to clear as many out as they can.
So like Tech Bank's using this chat for a while and he left.
Yeah.
We got a 380X for $75 when the 470 was about to drop.
Dang, that's crazy. New?
New from
Wow.
Fry's.
Dang.
So
Yeah. I wish I had a
that,
Fry's or a
that
Micro Center
like,
near me.
I have a Micro Center near me, but it's long enough that of a drive that it has to be worth it.
Yeah. I guess I don't really follow the Micro Center deals that much just because I don't like there's no point in me looking at them because I can't get them, but I've heard there's been some pretty crazy deals, so
Um. Okay. Hmm. Actually, I'm looking for a new motherboard.
yeah. Have you bought like any stuff or a fair amount of stuff from Micro Center or no?
I live about an hour, I live like an hour 45 away from me. It's about 2 hours of
Oh,
traffic.
dang.
And every time I go there, it has to be worth it. But I did buy a lot of my components there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're building like a full computer or something, it would definitely be worth it, but I could understand if it's 2 hours away there you can't just like casually go there.
If I go to Micro Center, it has to be planned, and I know what I need to get.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good deal that I was like drooling at that I turned away from. They were selling a 260X for 130. Not no no a the RGB case, the 460X.
Oh yeah.
I was
Dang.
like, oh, I really want that.
I want to say that one is on sale on Newegg right now. I think I saw that. It might be a lower end model, but I'll look that up.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, the 460X on Newegg right now is $99 and then there's a $10 rebate card which brings
Hmm,
it down to $89.99.
that's a good deal.
Yeah, I'd say so because I'm pretty sure they used to be like MSRP on them's at least like 120 or 140 or something.
They're normally 130.
Yeah, and it's a full I want to say it's a full tempered glass case with like tempered glass on the front left side. I don't know if there's tempered glass on the right side, but um
It's it's a
may
small version of the 570X, so it's fully tempered.
oh, all right. Yeah. But yeah, $90, that's a pretty good deal, I'd say.
That's
Sale ends in 5 hours, so if any of you guys are wanting that case, I would get it now.
interesting.
But
Oh,
yeah, um
hmm. Okay. Let's see if there's any other amazing deals in Newegg. Hmm. Hmm. There's a good deal on an M2 SSD on eBay.
is there?
I saw it on my feed this morning.
Is it like one of those daily deals or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me. Oh yeah, I see it. It's the Plex Store
Yeah, that's it.
256 gig. Oh, it's NVMe too. So that probably has like over a gig per second read and write.
EVGA, 500 watt, semi-modular for $50. That's a good deal.
Yeah, some if it's any of the
Semi.
EVGA semi-modular ones are like pretty expensive to begin with, so $50 sounds like a good deal.
Yep, that's a good deal. Actually, this is a good deal for a Z170 board, and I was about to jump on it, but I don't trust ASRock right now.
See,
ASRock
I,
Fatality G1 Gaming for 109.
how
It's
much is
Z170.
it?
ASRock Fatality Gaming Z170 Gaming K4 for 109.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I haven't had any experience with like any of ASRock's higher end boards. I've used some of their lower end stuff for like FM2 Plus boards for like an 860K from AMD, but I haven't tried any of their higher end stuff. Their lower end stuff has worked fine for me, but
Yeah, their lower end stuff's actually pretty good for the money.
yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, the high end stuff is really good for the money too. Like, I like a lot of their designs, and they have the on even some of their like reasonably priced boards. I like the like little covers over the I/O, like those little metal things, even
They're
though they
okay.
don't do anything.
ASRock stepped up their game for Z270 boards. They make really nice Z270 boards. I'll give them that.
Yeah, like they've got the Tai Chi and all that stuff.
Like, oh, you like the heat shield.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like whatever's covering the I/O, like the
Yes,
little.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Whenever the stream catches up, it's the extreme thing.
yeah, yeah. That I like the look of those a lot.
Oh yeah, it looks really good because I was looking at other Z170 boards. And I'm like, something's missing from this photo.
Yeah, they look a lot less. They look a lot more bare and like plain without it.
What it does is it makes a lower end board look more high end.
Yeah, that's very true. And it
Like when you
seems,
see that high end board, you assume it's a very expensive board.
yeah, and I feel like ASRock's been putting them on a lot of like the mid-range boards, which
Hmm.
which I feel like a lot of people just they want the aesthetics without all like the crazy high-end features. So,
Oh yeah. Well, on paper, this board is actually very nice.
what model is that?
It's the Z170 Extreme 4.
How
It
much
has
did you pay for it?
I paid 170. That was 2 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like it's 160 on Newegg right now. 150 after rebate.
Yeah, so it's a nice board. It's got USB 3.1. It has 6 USB 3.0 ports.
Dang.
And I mean, it's actually got a USB 3.1 port, and it's supposed to come with an adapter for Type C.
Yeah, it looks like there's some. It comes with a front panel, like a something you put a 5 1/4 inch bay with USB-C.
Yeah, my board didn't come with that.
Oh, okay. That must just be like the. They must have just recently added that or something.
I don't know. That's been in the picture. That was in the picture when I first bought it.
Hmm.
I just don't know why mine didn't come with it.
Yeah, that's weird.
You're recommending the Zalman Z1 Neo. I don't recommend it unless it's $30.
Yeah, if you can get it for the $30 price that it was a couple days ago, I'd say go for it because you're not going to be able to find a windowed case for that much for that price without a rebate. So,
Yeah.
but at $50, if you're willing to spend $50 on a case, I'd say spend a little bit more and get something like an S340.
Honestly, if you're willing to spend 50, just go for the S340.
Yeah, for $70, it's I'm trying to think, and even like Fantex has a P400 for $70, which is the S340 competitor. It looks pretty nice and is pretty similar. So there's
Yeah, the P400 is a really nice case.
there's a lot of options at that like $70 price point.
Yeah, I mean, there is a middle ground with the cases. It's more like the $40 price point.
Yeah, I feel like with cases you should either like if you're not gonna spend like 70 or like $100 on a case, you should just get if you're going super budget, you should just get like the cheapest case you can that fits your parts.
Mm.
But if you're spending a decent money on your PC, you should get like a decent looking case, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you have a decent PC, decent specs, unless you're going for the sleeper vibe, then get a good case.
Yeah.
Wait, um,
Mm-hmm.
can you improve on this budget? G4560 H110 board, 8 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, GTX 1050, 430 watt.
Um,
What's your budget?
the one thing I'll say about that is make sure that the H110 board has the latest BIOS, or
Yeah.
make sure you have a friend or a CPU, a friend with a CPU or a CPU yourself that you can flash it to the latest BIOS. Because if it doesn't, if it comes with the older Skylake BIOS, it won't, the 4560 won't work out of the box. So be wary of that. But in terms of like part selection, I'd say that's pretty good. If you could save up a little bit more and get a 470 on sale, that's going to give you a fair bit more performance. But for 1080p, that's like a good specs, I'd say.
Oh yeah, for 1080p that's fine. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, that's yeah. No, one card that I don't really see having a price. What card do you think is going to become irrelevant with the next generation of GPUs?
You're saying of new GPUs that are going to come
Yes.
irrelevant? Well,
Like
like,
you know how every generation they fade out the card,
yeah.
a tier of card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think they'll phase out this time?
I don't know if they'll phase out the 460 this time because what it looks like they're just going to refresh it, but I think what's going to be interesting to see is the like what Nvidia comes out to replace the 1050 and 1050 Ti because I see
Honestly, I think Nvidia is going to go full AMD. They're just going to make the 1050 Ti the 1150.
I would hope not. That would suck because if they're able to make the like 10 1150 Ti as powerful as a like a 1066 gigabyte and they're able to do that in a 75-watt package without external power, that would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be,
Especially if they make a low profile version of it.
yep.
Because you can get some really small cases like the Dan case, which is what Linus used for like his ultimate compact PC build, is like a $200 case and it's 7 liters. But they make 7 liter cases that accept low profile cards for like $40 or $50. So
Um, flashing the what does flashing the BIOS means?
flashing the BIOS, it
That's
just
for
means upgrading to the latest BIOS.
yeah. So you'd like download them from their website, and then you would run it.
Yeah,
And,
and a lot of the modern motherboards, all you have to do is connect an Ethernet or connect the computer to the internet in some way. And a lot of times you can just download the latest BIOS through the BIOS itself, which is nice. You don't have to mess with like downloading it on another computer or anything.
yeah, I mean, I've had different experience with BIOS. I mean, most of the time it's easy. Every once in a while you get one that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and you definitely want to make sure when you're updating your BIOS, you never like are in a situation where the power could be pulled or something. Because if you pull your power mid BIOS update, it'll brick your motherboard and
You're
it'll be
screwed.
unusable. Yeah.
Actually, you do have a chance of reviving it, but it's very slim.
Yeah, actually, a lot of motherboards, or I guess not a lot, but some of the higher end ones actually have dual BIOS, and you can like it'll have a little switch. You can switch it to it, but those are
Hmm.
usually like the overclocking ones, just so people can
Pretty much. Yeah.
set like a set settings they know is gonna work all the time, and then
Will the
they'll
RX 480 support a 500 watt power supply with an i3 100?
yeah
Yes, it will support it because I ran an i5 and an RX 480 8 gigabyte on a 500 watt.
yeah it'll definitely have plenty of power. The only thing I'll say is make sure that the power supply has the correct connectors for your GPU. So
Hmm.
because I know some power supplies will have like a decent amount of wattage, but they'll only have like a single 6 or 8 pin. And then if your card requires, say, 2 8 pins or 2 6 pins and you only have that single one, you either need an adapter or a new power supply to make it work.
Actually, I have gotten things running. Like, right now I'm running my 980 on 2 6 pins.
Nice. Does it
That's be-
requires one 8 pin or what?
um, it nor technically it requires 2 8 pins,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm running it off 2 6 pins. I'm pretty sure just because it's not an 8 pin, it will work.
Yeah, I'm sure they just have like the dual 8 pins if you're gonna try and do like an insane overclock on it or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Like with the 280X, as it's a relative of the 7970, which means it's a small space heater.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that card needed an 8 pin and a 6 pin. I'm pretty sure the 6 pin was solely for keeping the GPU cool.
Yeah, probably. I haven't used the 7970, but I've used the 7950, which is still, it's like a cut down version of it, but it's still pretty good.
Wait. Um, No cares asks, what's the best AM3 plus CPU price performance? I'd say the FX 8320.
Yeah, unless you're gonna get a really good deal on any of the AM3 plus CPUs, it's not necessarily worth going for that. But yeah, one of the lower end 8 cores, you can just overclock it to match like the higher end ones, and I'd say so. Yeah, what you said basically.
Now, if you are looking at the used 8 cores, you must watch out. I've personally had this issue. A lot of these older FX chips have been overclocked to hell for a few years now, and you're not going to get those high overclocks you see in the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I couldn't hit 4. I could not hit 4 gigahertz on my 8320.
Mm-hmm. And also a thing to look out for is the AM3 Plus. You have to get a decent motherboard for overclocking. Like all of them support overclocking, but only some of them have like the proper cooling and whatnot that to allow for a decent overclock. So.
Hmm. Yep. Oh, wait. What was it? What did TechMax say? He got an FX 8120 motherboard and 4 gigs of RAM for $20. Oh my
What?
god.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's like. Where did you get that from?
Don't don't remember the story you told me. I did. I mean, that's a nice deal because hell, I got an 8320 with the board for 55.
I mean, even that with the 8320 with a board for 55 still is a really good deal.
Granted, it doesn't overclock. That's why it's so cheap. But
Yeah. I mean, for $55, like, that's a steal.
nah, that's good. I mean, I'm considering it passing down as just a CS:GO machine
Mm-hmm.
because it stutters and anything. It stutters and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it should be, with CSGO, you need, like, it should be plenty to get, like, the crazy high frame rates people want
Oh
in
yeah,
CSGO.
well over 200 FPS.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Yeah. Mm.
Dylan says his wet dream right now is a 1500X and 480. Yeah, that would be a pretty good combo. Is the 1500X the 4-core? 8
It's
thread?
okay, that shouldn't be your wet dream. You should probably go 1400, a good cooler, and a 480.
Yeah, because well, I want to say the 1400 has cut down cache compared to the 1500X, but at the end of the day, with like a decent overclock, it's gonna perform the same for less money. So.
Okay, so I'm going to send you my $550 build that I've been planning out for a while. Right now, I'm stuck with the choice of waiting, going going the R5 route and
Yeah.
going over budget, or sticking with the i5 because I'm actually on budget with that card.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if it's for gaming, like they're probably gonna perform pretty similarly. If not, the i5's gonna beat it. But anything content
I was
creation wise,
6500. I
what was
was
that?
I was doing a build with the 6500
All
because I
right.
didn't want to get the 7500.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. There's not gonna be like any noticeable difference between the two. But um, yeah, I mean, for gaming, between the i5 and the R5, if they're similarly clocked, they're gonna perform pretty much the same. But anything content creation wise, then the R5's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Tech Banks, thank you. I thought that was you. I mean, you're doing another. Nah, Pico Wobbs, that isn't Cult of Mush. That's Tech Banks doing another hypothetical build.
Dang.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, someone said for gaming you don't want wireless keyboard and mouse, right?
There's an exception. There are exceptions.
Yeah,
There's a
there's decent.
Logitech kit.
Yeah, I actually have a wireless Logitech mouse. I'm trying to remember what it's called. The G, I don't remember, but it was like $40 and it actually works really well for stuff like Overwatch. Like I don't think it would be good enough for like people who do like crazy Twitch gaming like CS:GO and stuff, but for like my needs it's perfectly fine. I haven't heard of any good wireless keyboards though. Have you?
No one cares. My main rig is a 6700K GTX 980, 24 gigs of RAM, and triple 1080p monitor. EVGA GTX 750 double fan cooler. It's double fans. $70.
GTX 750 you said?
Non TI.
Yeah, I mean the thing to watch about the 750 and 750 Ti's is they actually make 1 GB versions of them. And if you get the 1 GB version, it's not going to be able to play any modern game at 1080p at like any decent settings. And if you're getting a 750 2 GB non TI, the most I would pay for it is like $40, $50 absolute max, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd offer like 45 because the fact that actually is a really good cooler.
Yeah, I'm sure that on like the 750, it'll probably run like silent if it has a dual fan cooler on it.
$100 for an FX 6300 with board.
$100? I don't know if I'd pay that much.
I pay 80.
Yeah, I'd say 80 is like a pretty good
I do
number to
80.
shoot for.
And for 120, he'll throw in a GPU.
What GPU though?
7870.
7870?
That's not a bad deal.
Yeah,
With
that's
the
a really
7870.
good deal because 7870 goes for like 60 to $70 consistently on eBay. So, and it's really good
Yeah,
for 1080p.
it's performs like a RX 460.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the R7 270 is a rebadge 7870. So,
The 200 series is a giant rebadge, except for the 290.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Intel motherboard combo, Core 2 Duo, E6600. It's an Intel board that's actually a decent cooler. $38. If that had a quad, it'd be worth it.
Yeah. With those, if you're gonna go LGA 775, you definitely want to go Core 2 Quad. The Core 2 Duos are, for the most part,
Web
useless
browsers.
at this point.
They're web browsing machines. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, if all you play is League of Legends, I guess, then
Yeah, but then you might as well get a Core 2 Duo or Quad because a Q6600 is $15.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like with the 775s, like any old platform, the most expensive part's gonna be the motherboard.
Hmm. EVGA GTX 750 Ti super clocked. It's the classified version for 200.
750 Ti for
No,
$200.
780 Ti.
Oh, the 780 Ti, I want to say beats the 970. So, but that's like a really, really power hungry card. So I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not. That may be worth it. If you could go like, I'd be willing to pay a little bit more for that card due to the fact that that is a really nice cooler
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's in
The
class,
classifieds are like the nicest EVGA makes, as far as I know.
and then those are also really good. Those are binned for overclocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even still, like, I don't know. I don't know if I would pay that much for it, but obviously it's like a personal preference kind of thing.
How does this sound? Gigabyte Oryx AX X370 Gaming 5 motherboard for 190. It's AM4.
The thing is, with AM4, you can actually get some X370 boards as cheap as like $110 or whatever. But
Hmm.
and the thing with AM4 is there's little to no overclocking headroom with all of the chips. So like $110 board is usually going to overclock just as well as like a $220 board that costs twice the price, just because you're limited much more by the chip itself than the motherboards and cooling that's available now. So
Okay, I have a question. This is actually decidable.
yeah.
So this guy wants 650, and he's for 650. You're getting a 4790K Asus Z97 Pro motherboard,
Hmm.
and you're getting 32 gigs of DDR3.
Yeah, the thing with like 32 gigs of DDR3 right now on its own is probably worth like $150. Like if you were to buy it all at once. But
And
DDR3 is kind of getting pushed out now, so it's basically the same price as DDR4, and DDR4 is stupidly expensive right now.
wait, let's see how much Asus Z97 Pro is. That board is 119 on eBay, 580 on the Indian site.
Nice.
$500 on the Indian site, 119 on eBay.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent. So it's the motherboard, CPU, and RAM
Yes,
for 650.
650. You're getting a 4790K. It's a Z90 Asus Z97 Pro and 32 gigs of DDR3.
I think that's like a decent value, but at the end of the day, you could get an R7 1700, which is right around $300, an X370 board for like $120, which would be 420, and then you could get 16 gigs of RAM for another $100. So, and then with a decent cooler for right around $600, you could get an 8-core 1700 motherboard and cooler. So, I mean, if you're exclusively doing gaming, then yeah, that'll do better. But I don't know if
Yeah,
it's worth it.
yeah. I mean, the 4790K. You have to remember. I don't think there. Okay, so personally, my prediction is there's going to be that one Intel generation that becomes the next Sandy Bridge.
Like the big step up. Yeah, I'd say too that they're gonna like they need to do something to like step up their game in terms of either increasing the core count for their like mainstream or something. Otherwise, I feel like if AMD is able to improve their chips and get good overclocks, they'll just destroy Intel.
Yep, that's the thing with AMD. Once they get one thing right, they get the other thing wrong.
Yeah.
With the FX chips, they got the clock speed down, but they had crap. The actual CPU itself was crap.
Yeah, the IPC for FX is
FX.
just awful. And there's
Um,
also all the just like shared resources stuff that makes it bad as well, but
yeah, yeah, and then they get the actual CPU part of it right, but now they can't get the frequency right.
yeah, which I feel like with enough tweaking and time, they should be able to make it so, because like if they could get them chips that are stable at like 4.5 gigahertz at the same price they are now, that would just be insane.
Yep. I mean, now there's probably gonna be that AMD fanboy out there, if anyone's watching it, thinking AMD can hit high frequencies and show some record clock. Well, that's with liquid nitrogen, not
Yeah.
with a
Under
Hyper 212 Evo.
yeah, under normal circumstances, the most people have been getting with them. I want to say the highest people have really been getting with any of the Ryzen processors under Air or like normal AIOs is 4.1 gigahertz, because and even at that they have to bump the voltage up so ridiculously high that it's like it's not even
Dangerous.
worth it.
Okay. Blitz asked, "How is the G4560 price to performance?" It's very good. It performs like an i3-6100 at half the price.
Yeah, if at this point in time you're going budget and you're wanting a new CPU, that's basically the only option. Because AMD, when
There,
Intel was had the CPU, had the G4400, like the 860K made a little bit of sense because it was a quad core, but now that the four thread Pentiums are $60, that it's just like an amazing deal.
well, even in my opinion, the 860K was irrelevant when the G3258 dropped.
Yeah,
You could
getting.
overclock that.
Hmm.
Hmm. And then like keep going.
But with the G4400 in games like GTA 5, it's the problem with having lower end CPUs is they're gonna have a tougher time pushing high frame rates. So like the G4400, you would have to lock the frame rate at 45 FPS in GTA 5, and it would work perfectly fine. But if you left it unlocked, it would fluctuate like a ridiculous amount for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whereas the 860K could push frame rates like a little bit higher and more consistent in GTA 5, but
Okay.
um
Uh,
and
what is your personal color scheme for your PC? That one's for you, Matt.
my I mean
Your
for the
favorite
most
color.
part just
Favorite.
white and black. I like really like monochromatic. I don't The thing is I usually buy parts that are like good deals, and usually the good deal parts aren't like super flashy or super colorful, and also picking like all black and white components, it's a lot easier to match, whereas like there's
Hmm.
so many shades of blue and red that it's hard to match things up. So
Hmm.
what about
Personally,
you?
here's my okay. Now here's my two favorite color schemes. I like the black and white color scheme. It's very expensive, but it's also looks really good. Matt, you're zoning out. Can't hear
Yeah.
you. So I like the look of that. The problem is it's too damn expensive for a black and white motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, Ronto, a 7970 for $60. That's one hell of a deal. Um,
Yeah, that's a good deal.
yeah. Now that looks good. Personally, I like this is a very hard color to do, like an orange tint.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I like orange as well. I'm pretty sure, isn't Jay's Two Cents like main PC orange, or it was orange at one
It
point?
was orange. It's back to red now, and it was
Oh,
yellow
okay.
before.
So is your PC right now like orange?
Mine, mine is accidentally red and black.
Nice. Yeah.
That's just how it worked out.
I feel like white and black and red and black are like very, very common, whereas you don't see as much of like the orange or yellow or like purple
And,
or those random colors and color schemes. But
and white and blue is like the Ubuntu of Linux. It's like the biggest one out there that's like not in the mainstream.
yeah, that's true.
because how many builds have you seen that are either black and white, red and black, white and blue, or white and black?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's just like the companies make the colors they know the most people are gonna want. Whereas like if you want a motherboard with like orange or accents or purple accents, it's gonna be a lot harder to find that.
Hmm. Dylan, red and black does look good, but a lot of people just don't want to be like generic.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like red and black is the probably the most common like
it's the
color
game
scheme
color,
if someone's gonna pick.
gamer color.
Yeah.
Like they're making a gaming laptop, they slab on pointless red RGB lights onto it.
Yeah, that's true. They're slapping RGB LEDs on like everything now.
Oh well, I'm sorry. On my local Craigslist, there's a GTX 770. It's worth $90.
I'd say that's a little bit high. If you could talk
Offer.
him down a little bit. I'm
Would
trying
you
to
say
think
it's
what
good?
I don't know what a fair price for 770s is right now. I'll look it up on
You're gonna have
eBay.
an issue there. The 770 is currently getting raped in a lot of games due to the fact that it only has 2 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah.
Like the actual GPU is good, but the VRAM becomes an issue. And while 2 gigs of VRAM is fine, when a GPU is like of a certain tier, sometimes the VRAM holds it back.
Yeah, here's one that's ending in 30 minutes that the bid's at $70.
Oh, is it 2 gig or 4 gig?
It's 2 gig.
Okay.
So if you
I know
can,
they made 70. I know they made 774 gigs.
yeah, they definitely did, but I don't think they were nearly as common as the 2 gig ones.
No, they're harder to find. It's like the 964 gig.
Yeah.
Um, for $60, a 770 would be worth it.
Yeah, I'd definitely
I
say
would say
so.
94 gig.
Yeah, if you
You
could,
know,
I mean, if you could get it, I'd say even up to like $70, the 772 gigabyte would probably be worth it. But
here's the argument with the VRAM. When people say it's obsolete, it's not obsolete. It's just a few games push it to its limits.
yeah, and the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have to turn the textures down from very high to high. So
Wait. Can you place the link of that in the chat? What do you want placed in the chat?
the 770, I'm assuming auction, but it's up to $67 with 30 minutes left.
Okay, so here's the problem with buying a green and black PC. You instantly look like you're a Razer fanboy.
Yeah.
Now green, black, and white, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd like green, black, and white. I think green and white would be a pretty sweet color scheme. I don't know if I've seen much of that.
I'm actually thinking about doing something on my PC where it's all black and there's a red light and then it emanates with the GPU. So it basically turns into a red and black build.
Hmm.
I'm thinking about putting a white light on the top to contrast it.
Yeah.
It'll look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
don't.
it'll probably look good. Melee Master says he is green and black.
Oh, Razer fanboy.
Yeah, I know NZXT makes like special edition Razer cases for their H440 and S340. I want to see.
I almost bought one of those I almost looked at one of those.
I mean, I think they look pretty sweet. They have the green lighting, I'm pretty sure.
If you like Razer, it's probably the best case out there for you.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got like all the Razer peripherals and stuff, then I guess it would make sense to get the Razer case as well. Because it has green underglow on the H440 and S340 Razer editions. And a glowing Razer logo on the front, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Razer, absolutely, that's a good case.
Yeah. The H440 is a case that I used to like a lot, but I don't really see people use it as much anymore.
Because really, if you think high-end case, you either think RGB, or like a middle ground, you think like S340.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how much an H440 is. Like a standard one. Looks like over $100, like 110, 120. Which they're like for that price. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're spending anywhere over $90 of a case, it better have RGB.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
not
it's also like
RGB.
comes down to personal preference. Like, some people hate RGB LEDs.
Mm, I, I, they're cool, but I don't get the point of it.
Yeah, especially if you're paying a fair bit more for it.
Like, RGB RAM would look great in my system, but I don't feel like spending, 10, $15 more on each stick of RAM because there's lights in the end of it.
Yeah, and I feel and that stuff
Uh,
adds up pretty damn quick. Like if you're getting like fancy RAM, fancy case, like at that point you could have probably got like the next level up GPU and got a better experience instead of just having RGB everything. But yeah. So I guess we'll probably end the stream at 10 if that's cool with you.
yeah, we should probably do our PC part picker challenge now.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm. So, what do you want to do? Why don't we ask the viewers?
Yeah, that's true. What do you guys want?
$350. What? Okay, so do you have any ideas, Matt?
Well, I think you said 800 for 4K.
800 4K, $350 build, all new.
Yeah. Well, what we could do like the $800 4K one, and like one of us has to do Intel CPU and one of us has to do AMD.
Um, $800 Ryzen 5 build. That's easy. Okay, so I know what we could do. A true console killer. You can get an Xbox One for 250.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to you can't really build anything new that's gonna compete with the
350
same price. We could do 350 if you want to.
all new. Banks, do you want in? If you're in, just probably contact one of us.
Yeah, he
Uh,
could.
Banks, and what's hard? What would be a hard build? Hmm.
I'd say let me think, like probably 270, like $300 or 275 gaming PC.
Okay. For those who want in, can viewers link in chat or no?
I don't think they can link in chat. I'm
Oh,
trying to.
$600. Oh, that's a good build. $600 Ryzen.
All right,
Six
that's
hundred
good
dollar
with
Ryzen
me.
5 build. I actually have an idea on this.
Well, what is it going to be for? Is it for gaming primarily or what?
Well, it's Ryzen 5. We're assuming they're doing content creation.
All right, let me see. Whew.
Hmm. Okay, so $600 Ryzen 5 build.
All right.
Uh, Hold up. Okay, Matt, I think this is a good time to advertise our Discords.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
So,
submit your builds on our Discord. I will link mine, and Matt will link his. A $600 Ryzen build. It's Ryzen 5.
I
Okay.
actually don't have a Discord, so I hang out mostly on like Comp TVs as well as Savage Tech. So you guys can just go to Savage Tech's
Hold up.
and post your ones.
I will send it to you because I can't type in chat.
Yeah, send it to me through Skype and I'll blast it through the chat.
Oh, okay.
Actually, just type into the regular YouTube chat and I'll make you a
I
moderator.
can't. Okay. Cool. Wait, let me get in Chrome. Good? Good?
What?
Wait, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Can I type now?
Well, I have to wait for your comment to come in for some reason.
There, it's in.
I'm not seeing it yet for some reason.
That's weird. Okay. Tech Bank sent in 2 builds. Yes.
All right, 1 second.
No. Bank, it's a Ryzen 5 build. $600 Ryzen 5 build. Banks, you linked it. Banks, you linked an i5 build. I actually, I have a solution for this, my dude.
What's that?
I think this will work. Budget 600, correct?
Yeah, $600 Ryzen. I haven't even started on my build yet. I've just been trying to add you as a moderator.
It's okay.
You should be a moderator now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so let me see what I've got here.
Banks, could you create an invite for comp server? Since you're the only one here with the power to do that. Oh yeah, Pika does too. Spam your invite in here. We need more people. Slate.
I'll add Tech Bank as a moderator as well.
Put me into the call, Keck. Josh, we're doing a $600 Ryzen 5 build.
I'll take your moderator privilege away, Josh, if you don't.
Okay, so Tech Banks throw it in for comp server.
I'll add you as a moderator as well, Pika Wubs.
So yeah, here we go. We have our. Okay, so yeah, there we see our Discord, so you can join up whenever the hell you want to.
It's $600, right?
$600 R5. Boy, so many blue wrenches. I know, right?
Everyone's a moderator.
Everyone's a moderator. I sent you my build.
All right, 1 second. I'm finishing up mine right now.
If anyone needs their builds passed through, send them to me. I'll pass them to him.
All right. I think I can squeeze in a better GPU.
Probably.
I'm going for more of the content creation side. I picked the 1600, which is the entry-level 6-core one. And it's only 65 watts, so you can use like a super cheap. You can use the $70 Ryzen boards. Mine's $13 over, but
that's fine.
I'll open up yours now.
Oh, hold up. We got another submission. This is Dylan's build. The build I'm submitting next.
All right.
I'll
open up that one as well. 1 second.
I don't have Discord. We'll download it. It's a couple megabytes.
There's no what is it? There's no power supply in Dylan's.
Oh, he forgot it again?
Yeah. He's running off the magic of AMD.
For the past 2 weeks on my stream, he submitted builds, and for the past 2 weeks he's forgotten a power supply.
Dang. Yeah, I forgot it this time too. But he has $9 left in his budget, so he can get the cheapest power supply known to man. So you went with the R5 1400, RX 470. Yeah. So I went for just nicest CPU I could, and then cheaped out on everything else, except for the GPU.
Yeah. I probably could have fit in a 480 if I didn't pick up an S340.
Yeah, I feel like yours is really well-rounded.
Well, mine's more focused on the gaming side. If you're more about content creation, then I'd recommend your build.
Yeah, the 1600 for, I'm trying to remember how much it is. It's $218 for a 6-core 12-thread processor. That's insane.
Yeah, no, the R5's insane. We talked about that for a while.
Yeah.
Ronto, I just got your DM. KYSA. Okay, we'll open this up. We just got another submission from Ronto. I'll run this through.
All right, I'll open it up.
Mhm. Wait. The SSD market has to split in price. It split the price in half till I consider it. I agree. SSDs are extremely expensive right now.
Yeah, if you're someone who doesn't, if all you have is your OS and you have like a few games and you're not someone who's always downloading like movies and a bunch of extra stuff, you could maybe get away with a 240 gig SSD versus like just getting a standard 1 terabyte hard drive. But even that is just like pushing it. Even for just like average users, 240 gigs isn't really going to be enough.
Mm.
So,
I have 240 gigs,
hmm
and I have Windows, my editing programs, and maybe a few video files that I have laying around, and I have about 40 gigs free. It's pushing it.
yeah,
And if I don't delete my Shadowplay footage, I will run out of storage in 10 minutes.
dang. Yeah, I know with like games like GTA 5 is
Oh, TechBank's just setting the build.
all right. Your video feed cut out for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, is TechBanks the one you just sent?
Yes.
All right. So his has a R5
Banks
1400.
was in.
What was that?
Banks was spamming me, so I just told him to build in.
So yeah, his has an R5 1400 and a 480 super cheap case, 500 watt EVGA power supply. But yeah, if you're wanting Ryzen 5 and you're just gaming and you're on a budget, then the R5 1400 is a really good value for the money. 4 cores, 8 threads.
Yeah.
At only $167.
Hey. I can advertise again, Blitz. Anyway, so yeah. That's a pretty good build. Oh, wait, he had a 480 in there? Oh, yeah, he won.
Yeah, for gaming wise, the
Oh, wait, check the case. See if it has the thing down the middle with the power plugins that may cause an issue.
it does.
It's fine. He could, I mean, if he.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, you can get like a I'm trying to remember like wire cutters and literally just like gnaw out that part of it.
Yeah. And you can, it's meshy. You can see through it, so you can probably run cable to it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure you'd be able to make it work somehow. And there's also a fair amount to the right of where the PCIe slots are, so there might be room for the cable without any extra modifications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
The
All
mic
of
just
these
phased
builds
out.
are like pretty good, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Banks probably his best build here.
Yeah, I'd say definitely for gaming, would come out on top with the 480.
Mm. Well, you have a 1600X, right?
I have a
That's right.
1600, just the regular 1600, and a 470, but mine's $13 over, so.
Does anyone else have a 6-core except Banks?
Well, Banks has the 14. Mine was the only one with the 6 core. All the other 4 builds have 1400s, the 4 cores.
I would say you probably have the best for video production.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Is just like entry level content creation and then also some gaming.
Like that wouldn't be bad for like someone like Linus if he needed a PC to make for all his the people that work for him.
Yeah, that's true. The only place that you're gonna kind of run into a dead end with in terms of like content creation performance is having 8 gigs is gonna hinder you a fair amount if you're trying to video edit and do stuff like that.
Well, it really depends. If you're on a budget, you probably are pirating a video program, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And if you're using Sony Vegas, it's CPU dependent.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean,
also, if you're only editing in like 1080p and you don't have really large videos, like you're not, the videos aren't super long, 8 gigabytes is probably going to be fine.
hmm
You just have to keep background tasks at like a minimum. But yeah,
Thanks.
so,
Yo, Mao, I need an RX 470. That's a shame, Dylan. That's a shame.
okay. Well, it looks like the cheapest RX 470 is the Strix one right now on PC Part Picker.
That's funny. The Strix is cheaper than the.
But at 170, I don't think I'd pay that much for a 470.
No, I wouldn't. I'd pay like 150. I would just straight. I'd go 480 at this price.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think we're probably going to wrap this stream up now, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the stream. I had a good time. You guys should definitely go to Savage Tech's channel, subscribe, watch his videos. Is
Yes,
there
watch it.
anything else you want to say?
Thanks for having me on Tech by Matt. If you ever want to have me on again, I'm completely interested in
Yeah,
getting.
I'm gonna be trying to have like a bunch of different people on, but I'll definitely have you on sometime this summer if you're down.
Cool. Actually, before we get off stream, I would like to ask the stream right before we end about my issues with my PC.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay, so I have an FX 8320, and I tried to overclock it. Granted, it was overclocked for 5 years in a stock cooler, but I decided to put a small overclock of 4 gigahertz on it. And when I did that, it stopped booting Windows, and it would give me blue screens. So I thought, reset the BIOS, so I reset the CMOS, and it was still doing it. So then I switched out hard drives, and it's still giving me blue screens. Hmm.
Hmm. Well, I
It's
mean,
not overclocked.
if you're getting a blue screen, that just I'm assuming that's just because the Windows file is corrupt. Like I would try just using a fresh install of Windows if you have like an extra hard drive and see
hmm
if that fixes it because otherwise I'm not sure what else it would be because if it's booting up, if it's showing video, then obviously like the GPU and motherboard and CPU should all be fine. There might be a problem. How many sticks of RAM do you have in there?
Two.
You could try just running it with one stick of RAM.
Mm.
Um, because I know sometimes if like one stick gets messed up, it'll be a lot of problems.
Yeah. Is Pika still in here? Pika, you still in chat? Okay. Matt, do you know much about audio?
I know a little bit about audio.
What would you recommend for $100 on it? Do you have any recommendations for a headset for under $100?
Headset under $100. Probably what I would do is the best thing to do is get a like a good pair of headphones like Sennheisers for like $60. Like find out whatever the best pair of regular headphones are for $60 and then get one of the mod mics that are like $40 and attach them on there. Because the thing with gaming headsets is companies who have nothing to do with audio will make a product that has both headphones and microphone in one. So like the chances of it being crappy is like really high.
Very
So
good.
if you
For
get
example, go to any GameStop, look at Turtle Beach.
yeah. So if you get headphones from a company that does headphones really well and then you throw on the mod mic which is a really nice
Mm-hmm.
microphone, it's not going to be as streamlined. You're going to have two cables running, but it's going to be much better than the majority of headsets. But what I will recommend for a headset under $100 if you do want the streamlined just headset plug and play, the HyperX Cloud 2s, I believe they are really nice. A lot of people swear by them
Those are good. Mm.
because apparently they're super comfortable. The audio quality is really good and the mic quality is decent.
That's good. Hmm.
But yeah,
Wait. Hmm. Hmm.
So, any last thoughts?
Um, there is an article we didn't talk about.
What's
The
that?
Chrome one. We don't need to bring it up with the Chrome one. We just talk about it for a couple seconds.
All right.
The how the Chrome consumes more battery.
Yeah, that's true. There was an interesting article that I had found that basically said that Edge was giving you, they compared two laptops, one running Chrome and one running Edge with the exact same tasks, and the one with Edge lasted 3 hours longer. And so, even though Edge is kind of a crappy browser, generally people think it's really battery efficient, especially compared to Chrome.
Like that would be interesting for a lot of people. Because how many people like go over to someone's house for like a few hours and they just grab their laptop? They don't grab the charger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I've ran into that issue.
Yeah, and especially like I'm in college, so a lot of times you'll have your laptop doing group projects and stuff, and if you forget your charger, then you're kind of screwed if you have to do a lot of
So,
stuff. But so definitely if you're trying to save battery, you should look into using Edge over Chrome. The only thing that sucks is I use a lot of the Google like built-in applications and stuff
do
and all
Google
of the
everything.
integration. Yeah, I use Google Docs, like YouTube is through Google, so
Well, that's
basically if like Microsoft could team up with Google and make a browser that integrated all this stuff and performed like Edge, then they would have a winner.
but Microsoft and Google are kind of on. They're both trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
So they're not going to work together.
definitely not.
And also, Chrome's still going to have a stronghold on the market because Google has a stronghold on high schools and like education right now, like public education.
Yeah.
Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
We do all our homework through Classroom.
Oh.
I'm a sophomore,
Mm-hmm.
and we do everything through Google Classroom.
Dang.
So, I mean, Chrome's probably going to still have dominance because Google everything.
Yeah, definitely. So many people use it now that it's like it's
Mainstream.
yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard for people to switch even if they see the performance difference.
It's like how people used to say the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's now they say Google Chrome.
Yeah.
They say I'm on Google Chrome,
Yeah, they don't
and
say
they,
open up your browser, they say open up Chrome.
yeah, pretty much. That's how you tell it's mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, any last words, Matt?
No, just thank you everyone for watching and thanks for being on Savage Tech. I've had a good time. And I think any last things you want to say?
No. Any last questions from the viewers? Last chance. We'll take two questions. Two questions. That's it.
Someone asked what's my streaming schedule. I stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Times Thursdays.
Mm.
I may look into streaming on Twitch in the future more frequently, but that would be a little bit down the line. Okay.
Mm.
Someone said, what would be the best GPU under $250? Either it would be the RX 480. 1066 gigabyte might beat it by a little bit, but price to performance wise, the RX 480 is the
How many girls do you get a week? Uh, um, I only go by double digits, bro.
Another question is, any good cases I can use to replace my old pre-built HP? Want to make it look like a gaming PC and not something from a school, LOL.
Socket.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can
If it's
upgrade the case, but you're gonna have a difficult time with the front panel connectors and stuff.
Oh, wait, question. Good deal or not? i5 2400, 750 Ti, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and I'm assuming it has Windows. Maybe.
I mean, $300, that's not that great of a deal. You would be able to easily build that yourself for under $200.
If you got lucky. I mean, hardware swapping in a 750 Ti for like $50.
Yeah, well, you can easily get a i5 2400 PC.
They're 40 on eBay.
Yeah, but you can get the full PCs. Like here's one with for $150 free shipping, i5 2400, 4 gigs of RAM, 250 gigabyte hard drive, Windows 10. Throw in a $60 750 Ti and
Yeah.
you're like good to go for. And then throw in another 4 gigs of RAM,
hmm
and for like $250 you've got a pretty good machine. But yeah. So I think do you see any more questions?
Windows, no.
All right.
That's last question.
So I think I'm gonna
Also, there's one more.
all right.
Would you do a 1366 Xeon build? That's
What
for you.
Yeah, I'd look into it. The only problem is just like any other old architecture, it's going to be really expensive for the motherboard. But I've looked into it. I may do one. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this stream now. Thank you
Yep.
everyone for watching. Peace out.
Oh, well, Suckme joined in at the last right before he killed it.
Dang. All right. See you
Oh,
guys.
damn, son.